What is going on, guys? Sammy, your One World from Sammy One World Reviews here. And I'm back with another Big Brother video for you all today. And there's in the last couple weeks I basically did one where I basically talked about the best weeks of Big Brother US. And I talked about the worst weeks of Big Brother US. And now for the third one and the last one we're doing is I'm going to talk about what I think are the 10 best weeks of Big Brother Canada. I don't know a lot, but I honestly love Big Brother Canada, honestly. Well, yes, it's just also show it can be kind of overwhelming some random twists at times. At least for the majority of the seasons, they do all around have great casts. True, I adore Big Brother Canada, honestly, when I first started watching it again. I think mostly because, unlike Big Brother US, they actually have interesting players that, are there to play the game. The majority of the seasons are never like steamrolls. They never just you get a couple of them, and there's probably some of the weakest seasons of the show, but even the weakest season are still to be like decent and solid. I'm probably not Happy Birthday 8 because again that season never finished. But other than that, it's basically the weakest season is still solid to decent. And we have about 11 seasons so far. I thought the last season probably was the closest to being terrible, but thankfully somehow I did save it from being a bad season, and still could be sort of solid decent, but that's a story for another day. And Big Brother Canada, we have had some incredible weeks in the show, some incredible moments, some amazing moves, and just some enticing moments that I just can't help but love, honestly. So, why not do a second one where I talk about Canada, honestly. I'm not going to do a worst list because, to be honest, I don't think there's enough bad weeks in this show, might be to really warrant an actual top 10, honestly. Maybe top 5, but if I do that, I might just do that in a short thing, honestly, because there's not very much to talk about, even the worst weeks of the show. So I still hope you all enjoyed this list. We're talking about the greatness of Big Brother Canada, and I would definitely love to know what your thoughts are down below. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Again, let me know your favorite weeks down below in the comment section if you're seen Big Brother Canada. So let's get on with the list, shall we? But of course, before we get to the actual list, let's get into the honorable mentions. The weeks I still really enjoy, they just did not quite make the list, and the honorable mentions are Week 6 from BB Can 1, Week 7 from BB Can 2, Week 3 from BB Can 4, Week 8 from BB Can 5, Week 4 from BB Can 6, Week 6 from BB6, Week 2 from BB Can 7, Week 9 from Big Brother, and Week 7 from Big Brother 9, and Week 6 from both Big Brother 10, Can 10, and Big Brother Can 11. And all just amazing top tier weeks, just fortunately not enough to make this list. So again, those lists was actually kind of hard, honestly, but let's now get to the actual list, shall we? Now, I definitely debated a lot where we're going to kick off this list at number 10, if I'm being really honest with you, but in the end, I decided to go with BB Can 1, Week 4. And really the downfall of the Emma, Alex, and Tom Alliance is kind of what elevates this week on this list, honestly. They also kind of double eviction, but it's kind of an obvious evictions, but it was still fun though, but it's really the kind of let down Tom, and his game's kind of what puts this up on this list, because his downfall is incredible. He's the one that was definitely seemed like he was going to be someone that definitely the most in his house, honestly. So his downfall was going to be inevitable, and then you get some pretty questionable moments, especially where one he basically just kind of show Alex's area to the live feeds, and then Telepath basically just flew up, yelling at him "Hey Tom, you're an asshole! You're a fucking asshole!" That fight is so fun, and it's just really the downfall of the Alliance, and Tom's downfall in general is what elevates us on the top 10, honestly, and that fight with Telepath as well, and the back and forth between Tom and everybody in his house, just, yeah. Coming in at number 9, we have the Week 7 from Big Brother Canada 3, the triple eviction, the first ever triple eviction to ever appear on Big Brother. And the triple evictions are definitely pretty interesting if you really think about it, because they feel a lot different here, because they tried to do one in Big Brother US, but that kind of failed. We saw my worst Big Brother US weeks, you will know that. But basically, it's different. Basically, they have one HOH, three nominees, one veto, and he actually decided to vote someone to save actually. And there's definitely been some great triple fictions throughout. Once you actually will see it high up, is actually might be the best. But if you can't, 3 still has an incredible first one where basically Brittany ends up winning HOH, puts up Kevin, Peele, and Zach. Bruno wins HOH out of nowhere, decides to save Zach, and then Willow gets put up, and Cuz found some miscommunication from Sarah parts, especially with the fact she had Bruno before the actual eviction. She unintentionally fixed how close was Alan and Willow. But basically, she, Godfrey, and Ashley both say Pilar, and Bruno's not both to Willow. Like, wow. Wow. Of course, before that, we had like, Kevin HOH, which puts up Bobby and Brittany and kind of like ruins his own game seminars, which also was some fun TV, but Natural Eviction is definitely worth enough to have this week be up on this list. Now, kicking off the list at number 8, we have actually a film from the most recent Big Brother Canada season, BB Can 11. Now, BB Can 11, honestly, was a very interesting season, honestly, like, it definitely had a season that had some ups and downs all throughout the season, to be honest, and honestly, it probably, like, BB Can, like I mentioned before, BB Can 11 was probably the closest to being done with the first true bad season of the show, in my opinion. Mostly because it had probably the worst 2 weeks in the history of Big Brother. And all that really comes down to mostly Zach, who basically is an unlikable douchebag, and he and Ty kind of won the Lions, and they were like whine and complain when it didn't get their way. Yeah, so those guys kind of douchebags, honestly. And you had someone just walk out of the house in the first week. So, I'm sure this season probably was going to have the potential to be the worst season that Big Brother can have, being honest, but the first 2 weeks were not necessarily vision themselves were exciting, and they were definitely surprising. But they didn't make any fun considering you had 2 douchebags controlling it. Yeah, that's kind of what makes the next week so interesting. And that honestly kind of saved this season. While I might not agree with the decisions, it did make for awesome TV and for some hilarious moments where basically get a lot of for basically see Kuzi and HOH putting up Satine and Vanessa. Vanessa ends up leaving the house actually, like out of nowhere. And then he basically puts up Hope. Hope wins the veto. It's like kind of trying to convince Hope not to use the veto, and upset and said no about it. And then Kuzi starts to blindside Zach. And Zach is so upset about it. He's so pissed that he's not in control anymore that he decides to actually leave the house to prove a point. No joke. That actually happened this recent season. Like. Wow. And again, that made for hilarious TV when how that happened. Even the actual winner of the season, Ty, was actually close to also losing that, but he said not to last minute. Again, that guy won this season. And I still think there's enough goodness to not make this actually the worst, a terrible season or not a bad season in my opinion. I think this week in general, though, definitely has elevated that honestly with the hilarious exits, and honestly because the division got cancelled, and before we know, Zach Angel was actually close to actually staying, which makes it even more hilarious. So, yeah, including this number 8, I think we definitely have a lot to look forward to the next 7 we'll be talking about. And now number 7, we have from BB Canada 2, we have week 4. It's week 4 of BB Brother Canada 4. And I think the reason why this season is so great is basically everything involving Aika, who, even from the season alone, we all can agree is a very iconic character and a very iconic person to watch. From her, kid that's always so back and forward, has a great villainous tendency, has some awesome aspects that we'll definitely see another great thing about Aika later on this list. There's some very iconic moments here. We get some great back and forth between a lot of characters here. You see an interesting show dynamics here, and of course you get that iconic basically scene where basically Aika has to win $5,000 to, and boy, yeah, I could choose between $5,000 or shredding other people's letters from home. And that's what she did. She basically shredded everyone's letters from home, which it's emotional scene for a lot of house guests. At least a lot of like craziness. So yeah, I think this week is just awesome. Now at number 6, we get week 6. Yeah, week 6 from BB Canada 4. And definitely an interesting way for the show, where basically you got a lot of back and forth between a lot of house guests here, and basically one contestant basically who was once part of the leader of the Alliance and was holding control for most of the season, ended up kind of getting screwed over. Honestly, because I wanted basically Kelsey, who got evicted, ended up coming back. The person that she ended up staying with, Olvita, ended up admitting that she mentioned Joel and the Alliance. Honestly, and mentioned in the other alley, Raul wanted to confront Mitch about it, since they were very close when Kelsey left. And it leads to a lot of great dynamics and a lot of tension between now Alliance in general. And that's kind of back right between Mitch and Kelsey that made for a very entertaining week, and it led to an actual interesting Mitch blindside. And as someone who basically was kind of in control of the house for most of the season, and someone I've always thought had potential, and so I hope that we do eventually see him return. And let's say this is one of those cases where they kind of get screwed over a bit, but that still made for very entertaining TV. It wasn't as frustrating as it normally would be, but again, overall that makes for an incredibly entertaining and awesome week of events. Now, kicking off the top 5, we have another week 5 and number 5, which is kind of hilarious. Again, I'm saying week 6, then we get week 5 at number 5, and that's from BB Can 3, the Jordan blindside again. In that instance where basically someone actually returned to the house actually, and kind of causing chaos that led to an interesting adventure basically. And probably, it's probably one of the worst cases where basically the pawn ends up going home, because people has definitely a history of putting someone as a pawn, someone as a target, and someone as a pawn, and yes, the pawn itself ends up going home, whether it be from their own terms or from other people's terms. The pawn basically ends up going home, and this is definitely probably one of not the most egregious example of that. Zach put up Jordan and Godfrey, Zach won veto, Godfrey just insane. He makes for such, again, Godfrey makes for such entertaining and awesome TV, and he definitely displays that here. And a lot of them were sad basically that Godfrey was going to go home, but yet they ended up kind of flipping house on the other opponent, Jordan, and again, their reactions from everybody is very both like, we get by the phone, and they go, it's like, and then Godfrey, yours says like, what? Like, the craziness that Tal Nolan deserves this moment to be on this list. Like, just pure insane. Again, the definition of having a pawn go home being more incredible TV. Now, at number 4, we get to an interesting double eviction, probably one of the best, if not probably the best double eviction that's ever happened in Big Brother, honestly. And that is week 5 from BBK 5. Yeah, BBK 5 has always been one of my favorite seasons. I knew one of the weeks from that season was going to be high up on this list. And it had to be the Emily Nutt double eviction one. The Emily double eviction was definitely still fun, honestly. The was kind of back and forth, and not the most interesting, but still fun. But pretty much the next eviction, the actual double eviction, was interesting. We got Sydney of all people, someone who definitely is used to be a handcast and everything, win the actual veto. So I win the HOH actually, but of Dylan and Jackie. Jackie actually winning the actual veto. And she basically puts up Netta actually, who by the way, might imagine Netta actually had a power that actually allowed her to actually be safe for the entire pre-jury. And this was the first time she was actually safe in that, and first time she ends up getting evicted. I think that would have been just obvious. Like, of course, she's a big threat. Again, this is where Anya comes in, who I mentioned earlier. And she's kind of basically Jermaine Sydney to put of Netta. And then because she ended up having a big fight with her, possibly throughout the actual lead up to it. It's like, even actually lead up to it, trying to get her to put it up, and she ended up getting back and forth and a huge fight with each other. But we just both play on the same season, which makes it even more interesting. And even like after the vote, basically Sydney puts up Netta her, and even during the actual vote, you get one that's where like basically is actually fighting during the vote actually, which again makes for incredible TV. Of course, like saying I vote for Netta. Like again, that guy's just a credible character here, and that's kind of basically why this week is so high. So it's just but not pure entertainment alone. definitely one of the most highly entertaining weeks, and probably again, my opinion, the best double eviction in the history of Big Brother. I'm dead serious. Now we get to the actual top three, and these top three were definitely pretty definitive. If I'm being honest, and both these weeks actually are from Big Brother Canada 10 and 9, which I think are the two best seasons of Big Brother Canada. Honestly, with 10 probably my favorite season of Big Brother in general. I'm actually dead serious on that. They actually have been Big Brother Canada 10, which funny thing because US 10, which funny because obviously I was not 10 that brought it actually better, but it's one of the seasons that got better the more I think about it, especially with the chaoticness of again. Both these seasons are just pure chaotic seasons. You think these were these seasons that would just basically just be smooth sailing, like smooth sailing steamrolls? I think there are seasons that had just craziness and I'm saying up and down. And seasons where you never know what's going to happen next. And we're going to kick off number 3, basically having week 3 of Big Brother Canada 10. But yeah, a week that, honestly, on its own, shouldn't have been an easy, boring week. And yeah, that's crazy thing is that about some of these Big Brother Canada weeks from these seasons that it could have been just boring weeks. Yet the cast itself and the craziness that goes on makes it pretty compelling and interesting. As one example, so basically we see Kyle in HOH and you think, oh, he's just going to put up the target or this person that everyone wants out. Like, nothing much for me, but, you know, what can you do? But you think he decides not to do that. In fact, he kind of turns on his own reliance. And it basically puts up Stephanie Moose, wins with veto, puts up Josh, and Stephanie ends up getting blindsided. Teams from her allies even decided to actually vote for her, actually. Like, even the people that actually voted to keep her will actually want her gone. And a lot of insanity where Kyle could have easily made for an easy week. The guy was actually probably the best position out of anyone in the house if you really think about it. At least started week 3 actually, so you think, no, it could be steamroll, and you could have steamrolled right for the end. But no, that's not what happened. Instead of trying to make moves, but yeah, he makes the wrong moves, and it led him to actually being evicted next week by his own closest ally, Gino. I'm not making it up. That actually happened the week after. I think all that alone makes this week so entertaining with the crazy character moments, the insane moves that happened here that really just led to some insanity and some awesome TV again. This is what I love to it, bro. Just great, pure, chaotic gameplay. Speaking of pure chaotic gameplay, we have number 2, and that is week 8 from Big Brother Canada 9. I've got this also kind of counts as double fiction because basically after this crazy week, basically have a fiction where basically someone gets evicted and he gets evicted, actually end up trying to find out to return this season. So, but whatever. But yeah, I think Big Brother 9 in general is like one of the most insane seasons ever. Honestly, and some of the worst people to ever play the game. Not just think that unlikable people, just because some people actually just suck at the game. Like, really suck at the game. And that week 8 is an example where basically 10 of all people win HOH, just having like an underdog run out of nowhere. Puts up Beth and Jensen, which I thought was great nice. Then we see Jensen win the veto. And here's the insaneness that happens. He decides to not use the veto on himself, uses on Neff, they put up Brendan, and Tyken, Jensen's closest ally, and Beth, Jensen's love interest, to round the game, decide to backstab him. Like, do I need to say why this week's on this list? Just on that alone, like, this is like one of the most brutal evictions ever. Like a big backstab. And these B players basically like dominate most of the season. That they definitely have their ups and downs, honestly. So it's not like a complete steamroll, honestly. But yeah, that week is just insane. Basically, Jeff decided to make it the stupid decision to not actually use the veto, and his two closest allies decided to backstab him in the most brutal and oh my god way possible. And you also can kind of find double eviction with there with Tara gets evicted and she ends up actually returning, so. But yeah, overall, that backstab alone earns this week high up on this list. Now, coming in at number 1, possibly not just the best of Big Brother Canada week, but honestly, probably the best Big Brother week in general. Yes, I am going that far. And that is the Week 8 triple eviction from Big Brother Canada 10. Which again, I mentioned, it's the best season Big Brother Canada since. So it makes that as the best week of Big Brother in my opinion. Just like, wow, there's so much I could talk about with basically. Again, you got Marty winning his 30th age. Also, let's put up here Josh, who obviously, for reasons, and then Betty basically went surprised to win, and again, it could have been easily basically for Kevin or someone else, and then Josh could have been evicted, and it could have been like a steamroll, it could have been just a boring week. And he also gets like fun thing also Kevin tries to self-evict himself by the orders of Houston by the orders of Canada, which was hilarious and fun to watch. But then you get basically Marty tries to convince Marty to put up Gino. Of course that fails. He decides to actually do this nominee by putting in gummy bears. Yes, I am not making that up. He decides to pick the nominee by using gummy bears. I am not making that up. Freaking gummy bears decide which one of his alliance members is going on the block. Even these things like gummy bears decide who's being put up. Are you freaking kidding me, Marty? And he decides to not put Gino because and Marty and Gino have always had like way back and forth throughout this season. Which kind of makes for some fun TV and kind of hilarious TV of saying how they claim to be allies, but they end up betraying each other constantly. Gino's like, still whatever, and then he puts Gummy Bear, and guess what? You end up having the right Gummy Bear, and he ends up putting a block, and Kevin is blindsides Gino. Which of course leads to a hilarious TV after we get an instant transition where Josh pretty much kind of ruins his own game for a little bit by putting up like JC, Lynn, Marty, and Summer, who he promised to actually keep safe actually. Jason wins veto, and says purpose closest ally Betty. Like, and then Betty ends up staying, and then Marty and Summer and they get evicted, and Summer still is paid about that to this very day. Like, just like this week in general explains everything I love about Big Brother. The chaotic gameplay, the fun interactions, the crazy shit that happens, the insanity that can go on in 1 week. You got a week that honestly could have easily been a boring week, could have been a standard week. Because the incompetency of some of these players and honestly the smartness of some of them, like Kevin, who I think is definitely might be one of the best players to ever be on Big Brother. All that makes for an incredible Gino blindside, an amazing thing with the moment with the gummy bear scene, and an incredible triple vision, which is definitely the best triple vision they've done so far with some incredible moments. So all that adds to why Big Brother, like week 8, to all that adds to playing why week 8 from Big Brother Canada 10 is the best week, and not just Big Brother Canada, but Big Brother in general. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed me discussing my favorite weeks from Big Brother Canada. I hope that, again, as I'm going to be releasing this video, pretty much new Big Brother will be airing, which I'm hopefully will actually be a good despite the writer's strike. But I'd love to know down in the comment section, what are your favorite weeks from Big Brother Canada? What are your favorite weeks from the other weeks in general? Again, I did do 2 previous videos where I tell them the best weeks of Big Brother US along with the worst. You can definitely check that out. I'm not going to do like the worst one. I think it might make that like a short, honestly. I don't think there's really much to talk about with those weeks, even if I were to do a video on it. And let me know what other Big Brother videos you want to see me do down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. I am Samuel One World from Samuel World Productions. I will see you next time. As always, stay cool, everybody. Peace.